How are you?
Fine, Lakshay. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much for taking time out to speak with us about your experience, especially on a Wednesday evening. I know you must be busy, so really thank you so much for taking out this time.
Yeah, no, it's pleasure is mine actually.
Yeah, thank you. So let's begin. If you can just tell us a little bit about yourself, your profile, your work experience, so people have a better idea, those who are watching this,
Uh,
about your profile and where you
uh,
come from.
sure. So I'm Kiran. So I did my undergrad in mechanical engineering. I completed my undergrad in 2020. So post that, I joined a public sector bank in March 2021, and I've been working with them since. So I have nearly 5 years of work ex, and I gave my GMAT in the month of November. So I scored a pretty good score, and I decided to apply for ISB. So I applied in round two, and luckily, with the help of LilacBuds, I was able to get in.
Great. Always happy to help. Always nice to hear stories like that. So, what was your GMAT score, if you don't mind telling us,
It's 715, 715.
in the Focus edition, right?
Yeah, it's in the focus
Yeah,
edition.
that's actually a great score. Thank. Nice.
Yeah, thank you.
And you only applied with I to ISB with us, right? Just one school.
Yeah, only ISB. Actually, I have applied only ISB, no other school.
Yes. So, 100% success rate, you'd say.
Great.
Yeah. So, while you were thinking of applying to MBA, right? When did you really decide to apply for MBA?
Uh, I wanted to apply in round one. So ISB round one deadline ends around the month of September. But due to some work constraints, I was not able to meet that deadline. So I seriously started the prep in the month of October. So in the month, exactly in the beginning of October month, I thought like I have to log in. I have to give my 100% effort. So right from the October month, I have started my prep. To be honest.
Great. So while you were thinking about applying for MBA during the process, what were some of the challenges or some of the hurdles you'd say you faced, and how did us at Lilac Buds help you with that?
The major constraint was the time because, as I told you, I started my prep early in the October, and the deadline was December 7th. So I hardly had 2 months. So in those 2 months' time, I had to prepare for my GMAT as well, and then I had a lot at my work as well going on, and I had to work on my profile as well because, as you know, for any MBA college, especially in ISB in particular, you have to work on your profile a lot. So actually, when I reached out to Lilac Buds, the time was even less. I had hardly a week or two to work with the consultant. So I can definitely say without their help, I would not have done my application would not have been the same it is now because you know how much time it will usually take to build an
Yeah,
application.
exactly.
So 1 week is definitely not enough.
Definitely. But yeah, it's nice to know that you were still able to make it work under such tight deadline. And who was your mentor, and how was your experience working with them?
Uh, actually, Prayash was my mentor, and it was a lovely experience. We had very few sessions because due to the time constraint, and he was very kind enough to get back to me whenever I needed help. And we were continuously in touch, working on the SS part, LOR part, and even on the application, like any other queries I have regarding the application. It was a great experience.
Thank you. Thank you for that glowing feedback. And so I'm sure while you were looking at consultants and other resources, right, you would have done your research, you would have spoken to other consultants. So what made you decide to come work with us at Lilac Buds and not with someone else?
Actually, I'll be honest, I have a really good story.
Oh,
So
please do share.
when I started my prep in, so when I started my GMAT prep in the month of October, I started talking to consultants as well parallel. So I spoke nearly with 4 to 5 consultants. I got to know the details of them. Then I told them, "Ki I have not given my GMAT. I'm still in my GMAT prep." Then obviously I lost touch with them. but LilacBuds team has reached out to me on the exam on the date of my GMAT exam, and they wished. So I felt like that's a personal touch because I felt like they actually took care on my profile. They jotted down the details. They were kind enough to reach out to me again on the exam date. So once I came out of the examination hall, I definitely wanted to go with the Lilac Buds, and that turned out to be a great decision.
Yeah, they say, all's well that ends well, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. So from like throughout the entire process, right, from working on your profile development, as you said, especially given that you're short on time, and throughout everything, interview prep, how did your mentor help? Like, I know Priyesh is a great mentor, so if you can just talk a little bit about how's your experience working with Priyesh.
I think Prayesh gave me a lot of guidance, especially on the essay part, because when I drafted my first essays, I was confused, like whether I'm going a little bit too analytical or whether I'm dumping it with more figures or bringing in for more of an emotional side. I don't know how to balance it perfectly. That's where Prayesh came in. So he gave me that assurance, like it's okay to tell your story, so it is definitely important to show the impact you have created at your work, but it is also important to tell the human side of your story as well. And it will not be melodramatic if it is honest. So that is something that stuck with me. That is something Prash really helped me with to get across my story, which is obviously everyone's story is unique, but it all comes down to how you are able to present it. And Prash really helped me to present my story in a great way.
That's actually great advice also, which a lot of people do tend to struggle with, right? Like how to balance that. That's really nice that you got clarity on that. And so now one more thing I want to ask you is that, like, other than your essay editing and interview prep, the kind of things that the other than those regular tangible things that a consultant do, what other things, something that you would say is intangible benefit that you got working with Lilac Birds and your mentor Prayesh?
Uh, Intangible, I think we were able to do multiple sessions on interview. That is something because he himself did an MBA, so he knows how things work. So his experience really helped me. He worked with a lot of students in the past as well. So I think his experience has helped me a lot. So even during the interview, whatever the mock interview questions we had, the line of the interview questions which I faced in the ISB interview, the line of question was similar. So yeah, that is something that was really helpful.
Good to know that. Yeah, it's really helpful when you're working with someone who has gone through that same process, right? Their experience
Yeah,
really helps shed light on what you can expect. And as you said, that the line of questioning, the kind of questions players told you to expect, right? That really helped you in the interview.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And so now if you can just tell us a little bit about your experience using our Lilac Buds portal and the documentation process, especially given that you're short on time, right? So did that really help streamline the process?
Yeah, that did really help because the moment I started working on my application, especially the resume part and assist part, he gave me samples. Like we had nearly 2 to 3 samples. So the message was quite clear actually. Don't try to copy from the essays or don't use these essays as your reference point. Just try to understand the structure, try to analyze what the applicant is trying to convey, and try to implement it in your application. Try to express your story clearly with good perfection. And whenever we had to work to and fro, the portal really helped. So usually I used to work late night on my application and I used to upload them around, say, let's say 3 a.m., 4 a.m. And Prayesh was kind enough to get back to me again in the next day morning. So yeah, it was quite helpful actually.
Nice. Sorry. So could
So
you, how? I really like to hear this part. So if you can just tell us, how did you feel when you finally got that acceptance, that admit letter from ISB, right? Your dream school, the only school you applied to.
Yeah. Uh, Obviously, I was so happy. Uh, Again, the results came out around midnight, so I didn't get the admit at that time. So I actually gave up. I went to bed. I was disappointed, but luckily the next day morning around 11 a.m. I got the admit. So it's a roller coaster ride.
Yeah, I'm sure it was a bit of a roller coaster. It's like a sleepless night, somewhat.
Yeah, I gave up.
But it's a good thing that you did not.
Yeah.
And something that really stood out, like a highlight of your experience working with LilacBuds, your mentor prayers that you would like to share.
One thing will be the personal touch. I told you, they were kind enough to reach out to me on the day of my GMAT examination. They were kind enough to give me multiple options as well, because while I was working with the ISB application, once the application process was completed, they reached out and said, "Hey, you got a great profile, you got a great score, you can look for other schools as well." So they have basically shown a lot of interest in my profile, and when I spoke with other applicants as well, I got to know uh, the LilacBuds have shown equal amount of interest in every single profile, and that is something really important because every applicant wants their story to be unique. You don't want your consultant to just simply copy paste the same thing. Your consultant should be able to help you to present your story in a unique way rather than him writing the essays himself.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. It's the personalization that really matters here. Like
Yeah,
the cookie cutter generic approach does not work. You have to understand each person's profile is different, their strengths are different, and that's what we aim to do, right? And that's what makes the difference, as you just said.
definitely, definitely.
And just one more question. So, having gone through the process, I'm sure it was an experience, right? A learning experience. So, a piece of advice that you would like to share with the future applicants, like someone who's watching this, thinking about their MBA journey or ISP, what would you like to share with them? Any words of wisdom?
First thing, start your prep. Don't leave things till the last minute. So even if you have a lot going on in your life or at workplace, try to start your prep early because I was lucky enough to get a good GMAT score in my first attempt. So if I was not able to do that, then I would never have met the round two deadline. So start your prep early and start building your profile a little bit early. And again, try to get the help. The more people you talk to, the more people you discuss your essays or your profile with, the better it will do for you. So always try to reach out to alum as well. The ISB alumni are really helpful. You can do that on LinkedIn. Just start your prep early, build your profile well, talk to people, and definitely if you feel like you need help, reach out to the consultants. They'll really help you.
Yeah, yeah, you're right. That's actually very solid advice. Lot of people do tend to wait a little longer, and you said
I
that
am the best
believe,
example.
yeah, but it did work out for you, right? And you did
Yeah,
nail the GMAT in your very first attempt. So that was, of course, helpful.
yeah,
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Kiran. Thank you so much for giving us this time. Thank you so much for sharing your experience and helping other applicants who might be looking at this.
yeah. Thank you. And again, I want to use this platform to thank the LilacBuds team for helping me with my application. And actually, I am shortlisted for scholarship also. So hopefully, I get it. So again, this LilacBuds team has also helped me on my scholarship as well. So hopefully that will also be a good news.
Great to know. And I wish you all the
Yeah,
very best. I hope you do great things and get that scholarship and do great things post your MBA. So
sure. Thank you.
thank you, sir. Kiran. Bye.
Bye.